you need to have at least one thing that is memorable about your business to stay in people's minds, to have something sticky that just stays in there so they can remember your business when the time comes that they need it. And I'll tell you a little example, a little story time from my life. So you may not know, I moved to Noosa a couple of years ago, and it is a small town. You see the same people wherever you go. And, you know, I'm a part of a few different groups, networking groups and business groups and just community groups and things like that. So you see the same faces several times. I kept running into this one woman multiple times, and I'd seek her out because I recognized her face, and every single time I had to reintroduce myself because she had no recollection of meeting me prior, which is fine. You know, at these events you meet so many people and people kind of blur into one, right? But the last time I saw her at an event a couple of weeks ago, I said to her, oh, you know, actually, I saw you at this other event as well. And it was like in a different context. And she was like, oh, okay. And all of a sudden, her energy changed to me. She got excited. She was curious about me. She was wondering why I was in there, but also here. And we had this very interesting conversation that was so unlike every single conversation we had prior, which we probably had had about 3 or 4, to be honest. And I was like, on the way home, I remarked to my husband, like, wow, what a different vibe that conversation was to the prior ones that I had with this woman, right? Anyway, I go to another event this week and I see her there, and I was like, okay, you know, from the distance, like I'm eyeballing her. And didn't go up to her this time because I was like, I've done this so many times. I'm, you know, going to cut my losses, right? But she makes a beeline for me, and she was excited to talk to me. She's like, I was thinking about this and blah, blah, blah. I was thinking about you. I want to ask you a question and this. And she like basically was like, blah, 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 just talking at me about all this stuff. And, you know, it was a vibrant conversation, but it was just so weird because all these other times I had to approach her. I had to introduce myself again. And this time, she proactively came up to me and had so many things to talk about. And I was wondering why. And it is because at that previous event, I had somehow triggered something that she was interested in. This was a business event, but the previous thing that we'd been speaking about was actually a community organization. And that must have been close to her heart. And she now considered that I was okay enough to talk to you because I also I'm involved in that community organization. And so there's such a parallel here for your marketing, right? Is that there are so many businesses offering pretty much the same service or product out there. And there are a few differentiators, you know, location or maybe industry or whatever. But when people are looking at them all, sometimes you can all get a little bit blurry. You kind of same. You're like, oh, was that business or was that one? I can't remember. Was that XYZ or was that ABC? I don't know. You need to have something that is slightly different that is going to be memorable so that when they are ready, they can actually remember you over the other businesses doing exactly the same thing. And I managed to do it by just somehow mentioning this community organization, and all of a sudden I was memorable to her. But before that, I was probably just like another person that they've met at one of these 1,000 networking events that they probably go to. And I just thought that was really curious. Such a parallel for your marketing, and such a good reminder to make sure that you have something that is memorable about your business that you can articulate, so that you stay top of mind and stay nice and sticky when those guys need your service.